Everyone, and welcome to another episode of the T&T Podcast. Here with your boy Torres Finney and my co-host Tyler Layfield. What's up, Tyler?
Nothing much, man. Good week or a good day of NFL football for your boy in fantasy. And yesterday survived with a win. We'll get into that later, but wasn't pretty. But I'll take a win whenever I can get one.
Hey, man, look, I'm happy. Look, I'm happy that Marab Davashili won. We're going to get to it for the UFC. I'm happy the Steelers won, and I'm also happy Georgia won. So pretty good week for myself.
Not a bad weekend.
Um, watching all the games. I sat here and watched both the Chiefs game and the Steelers game was going on.
Oh yeah.
So definitely had to tune into that. And some really good football going on. But yeah, while we're talking about the UFC off the back, let's get on to UFC 306. UFC Noche. Incredible card, phenomenal. UFC Noche was a history-making card. Biggest gate, most merchandise sold, one of the most watched. Mainly because of the fact that it was on Mexican Independence Day and them being able to be in the sphere. That was something that was monumental and really fun to see some of the visuals back on the backside of the things that were going on and the things they were doing for Mexican Independence Day. You had some really good fights. You had some great fights on the prelims. You had some really good fights on the main card. That Ronaldo Rodriguez and Ode Osborne, that was a crazy fight back and forth. I've trained with Ode before. He's a flyweight. He trains with Dewey Cooper, and it was good to see that guy. But he had a tough fight. He dropped the guy in the first few seconds, then jumped on the guillotine. Ronaldo came back, looked good in that second round and third. It was a back and forth fight, really good fight. The Esteban Robievich and Daniel Zogberg. Oh my good, Zellhugerberg. Incredible fight. That was the fighter. That has a case to be fight of the year. That is how good that fight was.
Might have to go back and watch that.
Craziest fights that I've seen in a minute, man. Like them boys are going at it. It was actually very, very wild. Lots of combos back and forth. And it was just a really, really good fight. Esteban Robievich won by split decision, which rightfully so. You could have gave that fight to either one. You could have gave that fight to any person, and nothing would have been in the wrong at all. Now, Diego Lopez versus Brian Ortega. That boy Diego Lopez is a dog. Man, he's a dog. And I ain't never seen nobody put that type of combination on Brian Ortega in that first round like he did. I mean, he dropped Ortega hard that first round, but Ortega is so tough. And the fact that he was able to outlast that output that Lopez put on him in that first round, I mean, I don't even know how he had the chin to survive it. But he kept going, man, and he started pushing through. But Lopez tough, and he dominated the fight, man. Lopez is definitely in the running next on the next guy to be potentially in the running for the featherweight title. Obviously you got Ilya Topuria versus Matt Holloway, but Diego Lopez is definitely next in line. He has the power. He has the jiu-jitsu. He's a tough guy. He's going to be something to be watching out for. He's special. Then we get to the co-main event. Valentina Shevchenko versus Alexa Grasso. Going into this fight, I don't know how they had Valentina as the underdog. That's the freest money.
Oh wow! I wish we would have went over that now in hindsight. Last show, I know we forgot, but that would have been good to know.
That was so guaranteed. I didn't know because one, if anybody watched the first fight, Alexa Grasso was getting dominated. Valentina threw a spinning back kick. She jumped on her back, rear naked choked her. I mean, like chin cranked. It was bad. Caught her in the fourth round. The second fight, Valentina Shevchenko won the second fight. It was because one judge made the dumbest call I've ever seen in my life. He gave a 10-8 round to Alexa Grasso, which made the fight a draw. When the other two judges gave Valentina a 10-9 round. Out of 10 judges, see the other fighter winning 10-8 in a round means you completely dominated the full 5 minutes. There was almost a chance that you could have finished that fight. That is what a 10-8 round is. How in the world can that be on the complete opposite side with two other judges gave the round to Valentina and one judge gave the 10-8? They screwed her.
Yeah.
Which made the fight a draw. Even if the judge would have gave Grasso a 10-9 round, she would have lost the fight. But the fact she gave her a 10-8 was crazy. So Valentina shot her own self in the foot the first fight. She won the second fight. They just screwed her. The fact that they made her the underdog, and guess what she came out there and did? exactly the same game plan she had for a little bit in the first and second fight. She just came out there and wrestled. She said, no reason to strike. Because I think in that second fight, it did give Alexa Grasso certain opportunities that she would have never been given if she would have never given her an opportunity of striking. Now, Valentina is a much better striker, but Grasso landed some good power shots in that second fight. So, guess what Valentina said? I want to wrestle you the whole fight. And that is exactly what she did. She dominated the whole fight. 50-45. I think one almost 49-46. Fight wasn't even close. Dominated, ground and pound, took her back at the end of every round, just about. She completely dominated the whole fight. Some great submission attempts by Alexa Grasso, but you can definitely see when Grasso was going back to the stool, especially in the end of the second, end of the third round, Grasso was sitting there like depleted. Just like, I
Yeah.
can't do nothing. I can't stop these takedowns. I can't stop her transitioning on me. So, again, domination of wrestling for the whole fight. Valentina finally got her title back. And we go to the main event. The one everybody been looking at. Sean O'Malley. His incredible striking, his one-shot
Sugar.
knockout power. And then you also have Merab Davashili, the cardio machine. The man does not get tired. The man does not stop. His wrestling is off the charts. I'm going to just personally say this. I don't think Merab necessarily is that all that great of an overall like complete fighter, but his attributes is what make him so good that you can't stop him. Merab, one, will never get tired. That man is an energizer bunny. He has the greatest cardio I think most people will feel like they've ever seen in UFC. This man does not stop going full speed at all times. And to be able to have that type of cardio and you're a wrestler, oh, it's over with.
Yeah.
It's like how you beat that. And he's been the only time he's actually been beaten is by just getting caught. But he's won 10 in a row. He's won 10 straight. Well, now 11 straight since he just won the title. His cardio destroyed Sean O'Malley. It's the inevitable. It was like Habib with Habib's cardio. It's the inevitable. It's like I know what you're going to do. I know how you're going to do it. I don't know where you're going to do it, but I know what you're going to do. The problem is, can I stop? And then if you got the gas tank to go along with it and continue to keep it churning, how do you beat that? Especially if you got a good guard or you got a really good chin, so it's going to be hard for you to catch me or hard for you to knock me out, or I'm moving. Rob was moving the whole time. There was nothing Sean O'Malley really could do. And he just drained Sean O'Malley. He mauled him. Mauled him. The fact that two of the judges, now I was pissed because two judges gave O'Malley 2 rounds. They gave him round 3 and round 5.
Oh,
I can
wow.
see round 5 because the teep kicks, he started kicking O'Malley in the stomach. O'Malley, he started doing this around the cage, like, oh, and then he started laughing. And O'Malley was joking. I mean, Merab was playing on O'Malley because I think at the end of the second, he had Sean O'Malley on his butt in a guillotine, and he started kissing him on the back of his neck. Yeah, and he started laughing.
No.
He was toying with O'Malley the
The
whole.
disrespect.
Oh, because he knew. Because he was like, oh, I felt O'Malley get tired. And he was like, I made O'Malley look like a normal guy. When he felt O'Malley start to get tired, he was like, oh, well, this is easy.
This is over.
And it's hard to. I mean, dude,
Yeah.
if somebody can wrestle at that pace like that, that's hard to beat, man. Hard to beat. But congratulations to Merab Davashili. Dominant champion. Fight I would like to see him fight next. Umar Nurmagomedov. Hey, I would love to see him fight Umar Nurmagomedov. Umar's the cousin of the cousin or brother. I don't know. Nurmagomedov.
Some Nurmagomedov, yeah.
Yeah.
They're related in some fashion.
Related in some fashion. Obviously, Umar Nurmagomedov, he just beat Corey Sandhagen. Umar's undefeated. Obviously, you know what his style is.
Yeah.
Take
Oh,
down
yeah.
smash. That's a fun fight.
Yeah, both of them having similar, styles. I wonder how that would play out.
Same. That's
Yeah.
the way I'm looking at it too. It's like I would love to see how that fight play out because most of the time, when two guys have very similar styles, they both fight on the opposite side.
Opposite. Yeah. I remember you telling me that.
So if you got two really good wrestlers, a la Kamaru Usman, Kobe Covington, all they did was take other guys down. When they fought each other, there's nothing but a stand-up
Swinging.
fight. So I think we might see that for Umar Merab fight. So it's a fun fight. That's a fun fight.
Yeah. I saw something from earlier in the card. The Raul Rosas, the guy. What does
Yeah.
he say at the end of his fight? The funny little shwee wee wee. I don't know.
Chiwewe. Chiwewe.
Yeah, Chewie. Yeah,
Yeah,
that crap had me dying. But that's about what I saw. And I also saw some news about an upcoming John Jones fight. And
yeah.
I seen there's a little bit of some people thinking that the person he's supposed to be fighting, they think that it should have been. I think that the name I've been seeing is Aspinall. Aspinall should have got it. What do you think there?
Yes, John. So this fight was planned for last year. Obviously, John Jones tore his pec, so he had to recover from it. But John Jones is fighting Stipe, and Stipe was they were supposed to fight. Stipe is the heavyweight goat for the UFC. I don't think he's the greatest heavyweight of all time. That he belongs, as to a lot of people within the MMA world, that belongs to Fedor Emelianenko. But Stipe is the because Fedor never fought in the UFC. He fought in the Pride days, and he fought in Bellator. And some people for the UFC heavyweight they give that to Stipe. And Stipe is a phenomenal fighter. But if anybody know anything, the last time Stipe has fought was 2020, February 2020. And if anybody remembers that fight, do you not remember the knockout match?
Who was it again? Who did he fight?
Francis Ngannou.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Actually, it was
Okay.
February 20. Actually, take it back. It was February of 2021, I believe. So
Okay.
it's
Because I
been
say I think I watched that one.
yep, it's been 3 years since he fought him, and he's about to fight John
Mm.
Jones. John Jones, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. John Jones, not. I don't see how he beats John Jones. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't see how he beats John Jones. So
Probably be a heavy favorite.
yeah, and but the purpose of this fight, heavyweight goat versus the light heavyweight goat, epic fight. Both at the back end of their career. I see both of them retiring. People want to see Aspinall fight John Jones, but Aspinall, let's be honest, he's in the prime. He's young. I know. Yes, I would love to see that fight. But then again, that fight doesn't. To me personally, it's not the same because this isn't like John Jones of 2015, 2016, 2014, those years. This is John Jones of I'm on the back end of my career. I'm older. This is not prime versus prime type heavyweight fight. So I necessarily don't care if John Jones fight Aspinall, which I do believe he's going to retire after this fight. Anyway, so.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Any other UFC stuff you got for us here?
No, man, no, just trucking along.
All right. So, weekly football recap. This is our moment. We could talk a little bit about college, a little bit about NFL. We had a lot of NFL action happen today, but I guess first let's go ahead and tackle this week's college football stuff real quick. Torres, just so you know, you finished 9-2 in our predictions on this show this last week, and you actually did pretty good in the pick'em
I
this
did.
past week too. Yeah, like you man. I made the mistake, man. I made the right call in the Georgia Kentucky game on the show. The morning of, I went and changed it, and I screwed myself.
Bro.
Yeah,
So that's what pissed me off
and
because
we'll get into it.
I agree with you, and I don't know why. So I made my picks early in the week. The moment Cheever sends it out, I made my picks. So and for some reason
We're about to go over that, Tanner. Don't you
I'm
worry,
about to
buddy.
call it dumb.
Tanner, we have this dog chat we're in, man. We were texting all throughout that thing, man. I was writing all sorts of emotions at that moment, man. It was
Hey, look, and
awful.
I'm in another one too. There's this guy that has a Georgia podcast, and he's pretty solid on Twitter. But
You have to share that with me.
I will. We have a group message about some of the guys and some of the other guys at the gym, and everybody was like, "Is Georgia going to cover? Is Georgia going
Yancey
to cover?"
coming in with the sarcasm here.
And I said,
You're lucky I
"No,
like you, dude.
Georgia is." I said, "No, Georgia's not going to cover." And it's like y'all still in those Rick days, or y'all don't believe in your dogs. And I said, "Bro,
I don't
so
have any reason to with this next matchup. My wife was getting all over me. She was getting all over me yesterday.
this is the problem." So maybe y'all don't, but I do. So I listen to because I have late at night and I have time. But I stay up at night sometimes. I listen to the press conferences. I listen to the press conferences of Kirby Smart.
Okay.
I listen to it from the opponent we play, Mark Stu. I like to do that.
All right. All right. I want to hear from you then. I want to hear some of this. What you got from it?
So Kirby Smart said in his press conference, he said, "I don't know why people going into the game week." He said, "I don't know why people keep thinking about Kentucky's not going to be it's going to be an easy game." He said, based off since I've been here, since I've been the head coach here at Georgia, amongst majority of our players, they always say Kentucky is our hardest game. So guess what I did? I went back and looked at all the scores. I saw the spread was 24. Think about this. Since Kirby has been at Georgia, there has only been two times that Georgia has beaten Kentucky by more than 20 points.
And it was at home.
Yes, they were at home. So the majority of the time when they play in Kentucky,
play away, it's bad.
Neck game.
Yeah, you're right.
It's an ugly game.
That was really ugly, though. That was uglier than I could have even imagined on that one, man.
So I didn't know so much more about the South Carolina Kentucky game. Obviously, I didn't watch it. Obviously, I didn't tune into it.
Just a tad bit, not a lot.
What I did notice is there was a lot of mistakes that happened on Kentucky. The reason why that game.
You're right, Jacob. They will be better.
Kentucky was down 10-6 at halftime. That was a back and forth game up until the point when mistakes, they started throwing picks, they started fumbling, things just started going out of the way. You know when somebody gets a big momentum swing and it just goes ugly for you?
When it rains, it pours.
That's all that happened. And he said, you don't think after Kentucky losing at home the way they did against South Carolina, they're not going to come play us really hard? Yes. So I know people don't think about all that stuff. That with Jordan, we should have run through everybody, but that's not realistic.
I understand that.
It was hard.
My problem was like it felt like there was a lack of motivation. You know what I'm saying? Like it felt like we were honestly like, truth be told, we were getting bullied on the line of scrimmage. It was pretty awful. Like it was a sad performance, honestly. From the guys in the trenches, in my opinion. I mean, don't get me wrong. The defensive side of the ball, there were some moments, and man, that you got to highlight Jalen Walker, bro. That dude. Oh my God. Now I knew he was up there, but that performance right there showed me a lot about him, man. I respect the crap. Like he did not shut off his motor the entire game. That dude was always busting it 100% the entire every second he could, man. Every second he was on the field. And we had some good plays. Tyrion Ingram-Dawkins, he was getting some he was getting in the backfield making some plays, but then he went down a little bit. But really the offensive line, that's really my biggest pet peeve, man. I can pick on that because Torres, you remember when we did our SEC preview, one thing I harped on, one thing I really, really hung my hat on for this team was this offensive line. This offensive line is going to be amazing. We can still rotate in, Michael Morris, Monroe Freeling, and they are, and they do make a difference when they're in there. But golly, man, like it was just awful. It was really awful. There was times they were rushing three and getting pressure. Like it was really just sad. And I can't say it's all on them because we were running into 7-man fronts, like just straight into the teeth of it. And that's another thing we can get on here. And because I think I hate to be that dude, and I've taken up for him time and time again. But this is awful right now. What I've seen from Bobo up to this point, this is not good. And from what we're seeing, we've been sharing stuff, man. We're on message boards. We've been seeing some different stuff. In fact, right here on this show, I just got a message from a screenshot from another website, another forum, talking about a little bit of discontent between some players and some coaches. And from everything I've read, it's Carson Beck and some skill players kind of going at odds with Bobo. Bobo it got pretty predictive, for a while there last night. Run, curl. We were throwing it short of the sticks every third down. I don't know how you're expecting to get the first down when you're throwing it short every time. It was just pissing me off, man. I was done with it, but really, defense did do their part. They held them to field goals. That's a win. That's a win. That's what you're supposed to do. They did that. They did the job. Yeah, it sucked. They kept on getting, but like basically the biggest defeat they were suffering on that side of the ball was just the yards per carry. Like there was just times they were getting 5, 4, 6, 7. Like it was just over and over and over, and they were just going through arm tackles. But not much to complain about on the defensive side of the ball. It was mainly offense, man. It's just the lack of creativity, the lack of getting the guys involved. Like, we're into year 2 of Dominic Lovett here. Dominic Lovett ripped us a new one when he was at Missouri. That dude was killing us. He transfers to us, and immediately we're just not using him. We're not using him. He doesn't have these numbers. Clearly, when he gets the balls in his hands, he's pretty good. Like, he's shown that up to this point this season. We're just not doing it. We're not scheming it up. Like, it's like, I don't know. I hate to be that dude, but I'm done with him. I'm done with Bobo, man. I'm done
Well,
with it.
one of the things I would like to know is I would like to know what is our timing in between throws up to our receivers. It's like because Carson Beck is not throwing the ball downfield, and I don't know why Bobo is not at least trying to trust into him to doing that.
I don't understand that either.
I sit here and watch Bobo, and let me tell you something. So we all know, as Jordan fan, Bobo does not have a great reputation.
No, he doesn't. And I've tried to take up for him. You've tried to take up for him at times.
No,
I
I
just.
didn't. I was dumb, dude.
Oh,
When he
you're done with.
came
Okay,
back,
never mind. I
hey,
was trying to
bro,
play devil's advocate for a while.
hey, I would devil's advocate no more.
I tried. I'm done with
I
him.
can't do it no more. Like I know Kirby again. Kirby has said it multiple times. Bobo comes from the offensive Monken. He was right underneath Monken when we are doing all the stuff in the offense. He was sitting there right there underneath him. He's calling the same plays. It's the same offense. No, no,
It's
no.
not the
It
same
might be the
offense.
same offense, but it's not the same tendencies. Bobo has brought back what he was doing with Margaret. I don't care what nobody says. We have become a stalemate of an offense at
Yeah.
times, and I see it over and over again. It's the most inopportune plays that you call at the worst situation. What are we doing? That's my problem. And
Yeah.
if we have these type of weapons, if we have these type of players, why are they not being utilized more? Why are they not being utilized to like the best of their ability? Why are we not opening up the field? Why we're not like empty sometimes? Like I don't understand sometimes of the things that Bobo was able to do. Now I'm looking at Monken. Heck, he's struggling in the league himself with Lamar Jackson, so it ain't doing us too much right now.
Yeah.
But it's still to the fact that I don't like what we're doing with our offense overall. Yes, the past two games, I obviously we saw some good things out of Clemson. Now, could I be wrong? Because I listened to the press conference last night.
Okay.
He said, "I think y'all sleeping on Kentucky because I think their defense is really good." And he said, "Well, they'll show you throughout the season." He said, "I knew Kentucky had a really good defense." So let's just say that defense is solid. Let's just say we struggled against a solid defense. All right. Well, we got a lot more solid defenses coming up. And if
Yes, we
that's
do.
what we're going to put on paper, I hope this was more of a wake up game than it being more of
I
a,
really do too.
it's going to be what it is. So I hope it's a wake up game because we've had those before. We had the Missouris, we had the Auburn of
Yeah,
last.
this is like the whole time this game was being played. That's one thing that gets kept on being brought up. This is just like Missouri from 2022. Some people were even saying, Auburn from last year. Yeah, I mean we do have these games from time to time, but like you said, man, it's just the lack of using what you got. You got this guy at quarterback that everybody's predicting, first round, maybe even top pick overall. That there's been talks of them pushing the Heisman thing. I don't know what from last night says that. Nothing from last night tells me this guy's a Heisman. We're going to use him we're really going to push the Heisman narrative. Last week, yeah, when we played Tennessee Tech and you let him throw for 5 touchdowns, yeah, that matches the what you're saying. Last night, no, not the case whatsoever. I don't know. I was very upset with it. We got 2 weeks to get right. Hopefully that happens. That's all I got to say on that. I'm done with it, man. The next games we could really talk about. LSU South Carolina was a really good one. I know you and we were texting in our chats about that one. That was a really good game. Looked like South Carolina was going to pull away for a while. Like it looked like it was a dud of a game. College Game Day picked a blowout. All of a sudden, quarterback for South Carolina goes down. LSU starts getting a little hot on offense, and they end up winning this thing by 3. So, anything big from that game you got?
I really enjoyed that game, and man, what a crucial call that was made off the pick six that got called back because of roughing the passer or unnecessary roughness. The quarterback, Nussmeyer, he threw the interception. He turns around, obviously going to attempt to go and make a tackle, but one of the linemen just destroyed him coming
Oh
across
gosh.
the field, and they called a flag on that. That was a big play because now you see LSU won 36-33, which came from a game-winning touchdown, which came from that type of situation. Um, I at first I thought South Carolina was going to beat these boys for a second. I mean, I picked LSU to win, but man, watching the game, I said, "Oh
You
man,
you had South Carolina. Yeah, you had LSU winning, but South Carolina covering the 7. So you definitely. Had the right thing there.
Yes, and because I knew it would be close. I thought South Carolina would be like a South Carolina is not a sleeper of a team. Again, now I just talked about Kentucky and how like again how Kirby was talking about him, but he gave great points about why South Carolina's a solid team. And I think out of all the years we blow up and say SEC, 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 this is one of those years where we can really, really say, dang, this is a really hard conference. South Carolina's a good team, man.
I feel like you could say that every year. I really do. I mean, that's always been my thinking. I really
Uh,
do. I mean, sure, you got your Vanderbilts, but
some, some years, some years.
I don't know. I'm like that. I feel like I'm end up saying it every year just about when it comes to that. But
You
yeah,
can't.
South Carolina, they're good. They got some pieces I wish we had. Like I look at that defensive line, that pass rush they got. I wish we had that. Oh my God, they got some studs on that end of the ball, or on that side of the ball. But yeah, it was a good game. The other games I know I tuned in for, I was really wrong about Notre Dame. Really wrong. 66-7, they ended up beating Purdue. Oklahoma, they ended up, winning their game by 15. So, yeah. Oregon, you were right on Oregon, man. They pulled away and beat Oregon State. Missouri, Boston College, that was a good one. Boston College is actually a really good team.
They're
They're
good
pretty
team.
solid.
They
They're
are.
pretty solid. I've been liking what I've been seeing from them, and to push Missouri like that at Missouri kind of says a lot about where you're at, man. I think they're gonna really make a push in the ACC. Other big news, I know Texas Quinn Ewers went down. Arch Manning comes in and immediately just looks like an absolute stud. He looked amazing. Yeah, they're going to be fine either way. Tennessee took care of business really quick. Nebraska looking good. Any other teams you want to highlight here?
Um, I mean, granted, Ole Miss, they're going to be a team to definitely reckon with. I know they just played Wake Forest, but
Yeah,
they went on the road and dominated their game. Heck, I had a prize pick for Jackson Dart to throw for over 315 yards. He got that real easily for me. I think he threw for 360 something. So thank you, Jackson Dart. And while we're already on the subject, we talked about Texas. Another thing I saw was the fact that, yes, we just seen Texas is now the number one team in the country.
as they should be.
Rightfully so. Yeah, rightfully so. And I told people, man, Texas is nothing to play with. And
Texas looks really freaking good. I'm worried about that game.
I said it myself, man. Texas is going to be the team that I personally believe is going to be our first loss. It ain't happening in 2 weeks personally, but I do believe Texas is going to be
I
the
think
team
it happens in two
that hits
weeks.
us because Texas is a phenomenal dude. They have it everywhere. They got the receivers. They got the running back. They got the quarterback. We thought with those running backs being hurt
I did
coming
too.
out of
Yeah.
fall camp was going to really affect them. But no, now when you got another weapon, you got to remember, this is the backup. This ain't Quinn Ewers. They was already really, really good with Quinn Ewers. They're still just as good with Arch Manning. When you got a guy that can scramble like that now, they're gonna be a
Crazy.
problem. They're gonna be a problem to deal with, man. So even when Quinn Ewers come back, hopefully don't cause no disconnection, obviously. With
I think he's fine. He's had the right mindset. He's welcome being the role of the backup. So I don't think it's going to be anything huge. He knows next year is his year. So he's going to take over then. But I mean, if he's called upon, I think he's going to do it. I like Arch Manning. Hate that we missed out on him, obviously, in recruiting.
also 2 games. One, the Colorado game. Colorado looked a lot better. Still didn't like the
Yeah.
fact that what the Shadur Sanders did after the game. Not shaking the other quarterback's hand, but Colorado looked a lot better. Played a really good game. They have to play really good because their next game they got Baylor, and that's not going to be an easy game. At least they got them at home, but they got Baylor and another team that you brought up. You brought up UCF earlier in the year. You talked about UCF. You talked about how
Mm-hmm.
good they could be overall. They beat TCU on the road. That was a
Wow.
really, really good game. I
I didn't even
saw
get to see it.
I just saw a little bit of the highlights there. KJ Jefferson threw a game-winning touchdown with 36 seconds left to Kobe Hudson. Because TCU was up 28-7 in the third quarter. It went up 28-7, and I was like, "Oh freak!" And I mean, I went tuning in. I just saw it. I said, "Oh man, I'm really tired
Uh,
of CF." And then I literally come back and I'm like, "Wait a minute, they're driving down the field," and I just see the game-winning drive. So UCF is undefeated right now, man. They're looking
yeah.
really good. Um,
They got a bye week, and then they're
I
playing
was
Colorado.
Colorado, man. So that's gonna be a big game. I think that's gonna be one of those big games. And one more team I'm gonna talk about before I get done. Tennessee. Lord have mercy. I'm in the wrong area for this year. Tennessee,
You're gonna be
them
hearing it all year.
bro, them boys are
They're good.
nothing to play with. They are good. They got an offense. Now we're gonna get to them. We're ready for Oklahoma. But man, Tennessee ain't nothing to play with, boy. Woo!
Mm-mm.
They good
Defense
team.
ain't bad either.
It ain't. Nope.
No. All right. So let's swing into NFL real quick. Things you noticed from this week. Let's see. I know you just said you got done watching Steelers Broncos. Update us on your Steelers.
Steelers look really good defensively. Not surprised. Um, Offensively, we still got some things to work on. I still feel like we're very conservative with Justin Fields. Still think he's trying to settle in a little bit, but I'm not still the biggest fan of Arthur Smith. But he
Yeah.
did look a lot better. Like Fields did look a lot better today. He was making some really good throws. He's efficient. He's making smart throws. I like Fields, and I like where we're going with this, man. I really do. I really do like where we're going with this overall. Give me the Steelers, man, to make a run for the playoffs. I mean, we got the 0-2 Ravens, we got the 0-2 Bengals. They're not going to last long. Don't get me wrong. We also got the Browns. Browns are 1-1, so it's not going to last long. But we're in a really good position. I see us doing some things later on this season. We got the Chargers next week. Then we got the Colts who are 0-2. I like us against the Colts. We got the Cowboys. So we got, we got some.
Cowboys didn't look so good today either. So
No, they did not. No, they did not. I mean, they got
yeah,
destroyed by them Saints.
44-19.
What did I say?
Saints are actually not too bad. You're right.
The Saints are gonna be good. The Saints.
Maybe that new offensive coordinator, I think, is making a huge difference because this was not like the offense didn't do anything like this last year. He's doing something good there. Kubiak is. I like what I'm seeing, man. That's one thing's for sure. Yeah, a couple teams got caught slipping this week. That's the 49ers for me and the Lions. 49ers losing to the Vikings, no excuse on that, in my opinion. I don't know how. I know it's away. You're going to get Sam Darnold, and Justin Jefferson leaves the game for a little bit too, and you're telling me you can't score more than 17 points on them, and you can't hold them to less than 23 points. That I don't know. After what we saw last week, that was just pretty mind-boggling. I didn't understand that. And then the Buccaneers and Lions. When I was watching the end of that game, it was just giving me flashbacks to last night. Freaking Jared Goff checking it down to Jahmyr Gibbs on every 3rd and long, on every 4th and long. Like you're not even giving your team an opportunity to even get a first down. You just want to check it down and just pray that it works. Good God. I mean, you got Jameson Williams, you got Amon-Ra St. Brown. What were you going to say?
And then the times when he finally had to actually make a throw, he made awful.
Yeah, it didn't look good.
No,
it's not what I expected. It's not what I expected at all. Let's see here. I know the Texans and Bears are starting now. Panthers. One more thing we got to say. I think it's a safe bet. They're probably not going to win a single game this year.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't see they look that bad. Like they are that bad. They are that bad.
Hold up. Nope. We're not gonna do that. Anytime you're in a division with the Atlanta Falcons, you can never say a team don't have a chance at winning a game.
I don't think they are. I think they're gonna lose out. It is that bad, bro. It is that bad. They're playing the Raiders next week. Max Crosby is about to sack Bryce Young about 10 times. Bengals played a better game today, even though they choked it at the end. I think we do got to mention that one. Bears have a good defense. Falcons, I know we give the Falcons crap. They're still going to beat them. Like Commanders, they might could do something against the Commanders because they're still not a very well run organization yet. Broncos might be a possibility. Giants maybe, and that's about all I'm seeing. That I think they can beat. I don't see it, man. They look atrocious. But the Chiefs and Bengals game, I was able to watch a good bit of it. Ended up being a good one. Chiefs won at 26-25. Takeaways on that game, Torres.
Great game. Well, once again, we saw something where I know a lot of people get mad, a lot of people get pissed. Kiever was a little mad in the group message. He was like,
"What did he say?
I'm sick and tired of the Chiefs getting bailed out." And I told people, and I say it, and I say it again, the Chiefs will continue to be what New England used to be. It just was changing of the times. It was 4th and 16, Tyler. to 16. You already know what happened. They go that yellow flag. Fly through the air. It never fails. I was telling somebody in my other group message. They were like, "Oh, this is Joe Burrow. This is Joe Burrow. This ain't Lamar. This ain't Josh Allen. He's gonna find a way to pull this game out." I said, "Then you vastly mistake." I said, "If y'all ain't learned yet, when will you learn?" Dude, game on the line, 2 minutes left. You think, especially when all he needs a field goal, Mahomes is always going to get the job done.
Yeah.
Always going to drive the ball down the field. He's always going to find a way. It's just the way it is. Just the way it's just like Brady. If you give him time on the clock, he's going to find a way. Whether he does it or the NFL or the referees does it. Because when Taylor Swift in the building, the Chiefs ain't losing, y'all. I don't know what it is. But great game overall, basically in a scheme of football. The Bengals look really good. They played a much better game than they played last week against the Patriots. I just think that, yeah, you just got to capitalize on opportunities, man. I mean, they had to. I will say there was a few calls. Like there was one pick where Mahomes threw, and the referee didn't bail these boys out a few times. Like it's just the way
It's bound to happen.
It's bound. I don't get surprised by it. I don't know why people do, but I don't get surprised.
Yeah.
I'll stay there.
Like you said, there's no better way to put it. They're the new Patriots. He's the new Brady. It's definitely gonna end up playing out like that for the most part. You're gonna get it. Like people are gonna get upset because he is gonna get the calls. That's for sure. You asked a really good question, man, and this will be our transition into our college football picks for this week. Because, well, you know what? No, we'll wait till we get to that game. We'll wait till we get to that game in order to bring it in that way. But we're getting into our college football week 4 picks. Unless there was anything else you wanted to highlight from NFL.
No, sir, brother. That was good, man. That was really
all right.
Really fun.
Yeah. So we're gonna wait till our second one to get into that. But this is our first game. First game is gonna be Friday night. Last week's it was what was it? Arizona and Kansas State. Yeah, that's one that I got you on that one. Gotcha. But that's about all I got you on because you were tearing up the picks last week. But yeah, it ended up playing out pretty good for Kansas State. We'll be picking one of their games here in a second. But we got number 24 Illinois. They are traveling to number 22 Nebraska. Nebraska is an 8.5-point favorite here. Playing at home, they're hot, man. Nebraska's hot. They look pretty good right now. They look like they're a team to be reckoned with. Illinois up to this point. So let's just kind of take a look at Illinois, the team, and what they've accomplished so far this season. Because I know up to this point that both teams are 3-0, so this is going to be a solid matchup. Big win was in week 2 against number 19 Kansas. They won 23-17. That was at home though. That's where I'm thinking things get a little messy as far as them traveling to Nebraska. I think this could be a close one. The kicker here is the 8.5. Like if this was 6.5, I think I'd definitely pick Nebraska. I think Nebraska could win this by a touchdown. It's just that extra little bit that's kind of catching me off here. But what I think I'm gonna do, because so far they've been scoring pretty good. Nebraska, let's see, their big win coming against Colorado. They've been scoring 28 and above in every game, holding the high score they've allowed so far is 10. I'll take Nebraska to cover the 8.5. Even though I know that's a weird number, I'm going to take Nebraska here to cover the 8.5. That's who I'm going with.
So this is an interesting game, and yes, obviously this is the best team they're playing up to par. But what helps Nebraska in this case is Nebraska haven't had to travel at all.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to be more of a game. It's like, all right, we're going to see how really good y'all are because in a few weeks, y'all going to have to go on the road the following week, they got to go on the road to Purdue. But I'm not looking at the game. I'm looking at the game when in a few weeks, they got to go on the road to Indiana, and then the next week, they got to play Ohio State. So this is a big test game for them. Illinois, I'm looking at Illinois. They did beat Central Michigan, but it was 30-9. I'm not saying that Central Michigan, is an awful team, but I would think a team like Illinois, it was a little bit competitive all the way up to the fourth quarter. I don't think Illinois is necessarily going to have it enough. Nebraska has a really solid defense. I saw that a little bit in Colorado. Now it depends on what you want to deal with. What you say about with Colorado. But one thing about Colorado, they can at least put up points. Even last year when it was losing games, it would at least be able to put up points. Colorado at least usually be able to get up at least 20, 21, 28 maybe. They shut them down to 10. I think this Nebraska defense is actually pretty solid. So I am going to take the spread. Give me Nebraska.
All right, nice. So then that's going to lead us to what I was kind of referencing earlier, or at least what I was alluding to, and the question that you asked us, Torres, or that you asked me. I think it was in a group chat we were in, but you said, "Who wins the game first? Florida State, the Florida State Seminoles, or the Atlanta Falcons?" And it is definitely a valid thing, and up to this point, man, like both teams. I mean, both teams obviously not doing good. Haven't seen the Falcons in week 2 yet. There's still a chance maybe they can do something, but up to this point, man, it's been pretty ugly for Florida State. And I'm not trying to harp on it, Maloney. If you're out there listening, I'm sorry, man. We got to discuss it. I'm not going to say it in a mean way or a hateful way. It just is what it is. We got to call a spade here. But Florida State, they have Cal this week. Cal is coming to Tallahassee to play Florida State. Florida State's a 2.5-point favorite. After this game, though, they got SMU, Clemson, Duke, Miami, North Carolina, Notre Dame, Charleston Southern, and Florida. Those last 2 games might be the only 2 that I actually think.
He will say
I'm being dead serious. Charleston Southern, of course, we're going to favor them there, and they better win that game. They better win, or else it is in trouble. Louis swears on everything. They're going to fire Norvell before the end of the year. I was like, dude, they were just in playoff talks last year. There's no chance. This isn't a Florida situation where you've been doing this for years. This is a 1-year thing, even though it is ugly. It just is what it is. I think you see the Falcons win, though, before you see the Florida State Seminoles win a game.
That means we got the Falcons winning either tomorrow or they're winning next week against the Chiefs, which I don't see either one happening. But I'm going to tell you this. I slick think Florida State could beat SMU. Can I be wrong with it?
It's at SMU, though, mind you.
They shouldn't lose at SMU.
The game is there. SMU hasn't been a bad team. I mean, they're 2-1. The team they lost to was BYU, 18-15. They normally can put up some points. So, I don't know. Nothing's a given with this team.
Let me tell you this. It is funny. We're sitting here talking about Florida State next week's game when they're the freaking favorite against California. I don't know what Vegas looking at on that one. I'm sorry, Vegas. Most of the time I agree with you. I don't agree with you in this one. California, bro. Cal's going to beat these boys. Florida State had just been at home against Memphis and Boston College. The most they scored in both of those games was 13 points. So you telling me in the combination of 2 games, you scored 25 points at home against Boston College and Memphis, and you think Cal, who's coming up in here, now I don't know what has been going on with Cal, I don't. But Cal went on the road against Auburn and beat them 24.
Yeah.
Also beat San Diego State at home. Cal has a good true road win by going on the road to beat Auburn. Auburn is already hostile. It definitely ain't going to be any different than when they get ready to play Florida State. Let alone with the fact that, let me see. I want to see something. I want to see that Auburn let me see something. So, yeah, so Auburn had already won the week before. So then that means that was their second game. They came in with a little bit of momentum, and they lost that game to Cal. I be honest. And then Auburn won the next week against New Mexico at home. I don't see it. I don't see it. Peyton Thorne threw 4 picks. If Peyton Thorne threw 4 picks, I can only imagine what DJ might do. DJ might throw at least 2 interceptions. Give me Cal.
Yeah, Cal with the points. Cal with the points. That's the go-to. I hate to be that dude. It is what it is. And SMU, I'm not trying to hype up SMU by any means, but still, that's no easy task. Like, they got a big fan base. And, dude, like, when Florida State comes to town, that's one of SMU's biggest – I'm going to say that's probably one of their biggest games they're going to play all season. I mean, let's just look at theirs real quick. It's just as a look ahead, because I know we shouldn't be harping on it too long. I mean, they got TCU this week. Louisville – That might be the biggest game is Louisville. But they're going to show up for Florida State because who doesn't? You know what I'm saying? Like when I was at Georgia Southern, every time we played App State, I remember the biggest upset we had when I was there was we beat App State when they were ranked on a Thursday night. Everybody and their mama showed up for that one. We got loud for that one. They're going to get loud for Florida State still too. Like the time hasn't been released on that, but if that's an evening game, oh my God, yeah, it's going to be
Thing
loud.
is, so because of the pedigree that Florida State obviously has,
Yes.
people are not going to be the one that says, "I don't want to be the first dub on their
Oh,
schedule."
exactly.
So they're going to play that hard. Like
Exactly.
as much as we see have teams play Georgia really hard because they're the number one ranked
Oh
team
yeah.
in their pedigree. People like to do that against teams with high pedigrees, but they don't have the necessarily the record behind it. Like for instance, when teams play Florida right now, we all know the pedigree that Florida has. But when teams play Florida, they're gonna play up to get ready to beat Florida because they say, "Man,
Mm-hmm.
we got to beat this team. This is Florida we're talking about. The same thing
Yeah.
with State. This is Florida State we're talking about. We got to beat these boys."
You're
So
right.
I agree with you.
You're right. So that'll lead us to Arkansas traveling to Auburn. Both teams unranked. Auburn is a 3.5 point favorite at home. Obviously, we just talked about it, but Cal came in unranked. They beat Auburn. Auburn is 2-1 now. They beat New Mexico, and they also beat Alabama A&M. So that's the two wins they got on their record at the moment. New Mexico was a 45-19. Alabama was a 73-3. The Alabama A&M. Cal beat them 21-14. Arkansas's had a pretty good season up to this point. The one game they lost being against Oklahoma State in overtime. They're coming off a win against UAB 37-27. Uh, Auburn does have a new quarterback in right now. It's not Peyton Thorne. He actually did pretty good. He had 4 touchdowns this last week.
What's the quarterback?
Uh, Hank something. Let me go look back at it. Hank Brown, maybe. I'm about to go look. Let's see. Yeah, I've never heard of him. I'm not gonna. I'm not trying. And that's not meant to be a crack. I really have never heard of this dude before here.
He's new.
Uh,
I thought it was Peyton. That's why. That's why.
yeah, is Hank Brown. Yeah, Hank Brown. So, um, I am going to take Arkansas with the 3.5 points in this one. That's what I'm going to go with.
Mm.
This is Auburn. I do know crazy things have happened, but if you let California come in and beat you, and if Arkansas has already proven they can go on the road and push a team to overtime that is ranked, I can't help but think they can come in and push Auburn as well. And they're going to run the ball. Pittman's playing for his job. Pittman is playing for his job, man. Auburn. This is just building up. They're waiting until they get a real quarterback. Pittman is playing for his job right now, and they do still have some dudes on that team. Like the running back and the quarterback ain't too bad for Arkansas. They're going to be able to run the ball. Can their defense get stops? And I think they will against Hank Brown. That's just my 2 cents.
You know what's sad about this is
What is sad about it?
Arkansas doesn't win this game. They're only going to win one out of their next six
You're probably right.
because they got A&M,
Yeah,
Tennessee,
LSU.
LSU,
They could beat Mississippi
Mississippi.
State.
That's the one I'm giving them. And
Yeah.
then you got
Well, Louisiana Tech. Oh yeah, but you didn't go all the way through the end
the
of the
next
season.
six. Yeah. I
Yeah,
said
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
And then they got Ole Miss and they got Texas.
Yeah.
Um, you're
He's got to win this one. He's got to win this
and
one.
then if you want to add Louisiana, okay, they'll beat Louisiana Tech, but then they got Missouri. So it's
Yeah,
like,
they're gonna lose that one. So,
bro, you're on the brink of looking at like a 5-win season. If you don't
well,
go,
what's new?
it's only gonna be a 4-win season if you don't win his game. So
Yeah,
like it is a do or die type game for them. It really is, unless they throw in some upsets throughout the season. But it's like a
mm-hmm.
do or die game to them, and I would like to go Arkansas. I really would, but it's hard on the road. And I know Cal went in there and beat them, but man, them being at home against Arkansas, I mean UAB, and having that type of game, man, that's gone hard. 3.5. Give me Auburn. Give me Auburn.
Auburn. All right, Auburn to cover 3.5. I got you.
'Cause
All right, the
we
next.
didn't get in that game, man. That's the problem. And that game was tight up until the final 3 minutes of the game. They finally scored. It's a tight game. So
Yeah, yeah. So we now have NC State, unranked NC State, traveling to Clemson, number 21 Clemson. They are 16-point favorites. Clemson is. Who do you got in this one?
Um, so I mean, I've only seen NC State once throughout the season. Obviously, when they got ready to play Tennessee.
Tennessee. Yeah.
I paid attention a little bit to that game. Obviously, looking at that game and seeing that they got ran through. I don't think. Are we really saying it's NC State defense is just that bad, or is it really NC State? Was Tennessee that good? But obviously, Tennessee been dropping points from everybody.
Yeah, they are.
NC State did struggle with Louisiana Tech, who we just about gave a win to for Arkansas. So also NC State, I'm big in the FCS. Obviously, they're in our division. Western Carolina. Western Carolina dropped 21 points on the boys, and they were at home. And I'm looking at that because Western Carolina actually had the lead in the third quarter. It was 21-17 going into the fourth quarter. Eventually, they started to turn it up, and then they eventually, ran up the scoreboard. They made it 38-21. Give me Clemson in this one. I do think Clemson has a good little streak of a run they start going on. So give me Clemson to take the spread because they got Stanford next week, which is a really good game. Usually Stanford is a little bit better, but that's going to be really good for Clemson. But give me Clemson in the spread against NC State.
Give me Clemson there as well. They've had a big bounce back since Georgia. The offense has gotten going. Their defense will probably be able to hold up against NC State. They're playing at home. It's a noon game. Their fans are going to show out. I think they can win that one by 16 or more. All right, next one. Unranked Georgia Tech is traveling to number 19 Louisville. Louisville is a 10.5-point favorite. And up to this point, Torres, Louisville has yet to play an actual, good team, in my opinion. They have played Jacksonville State, and they have played Austin Peay. So that is all they have done up to this point. We saw Georgia Tech start the year off hot against Florida State. Obviously, that's fizzled out a little bit since then. Them losing to Syracuse. I think Georgia Tech can play defense enough, and they can run the ball well enough that they can keep this thing within 10.5. Give me Georgia Tech with the 10.5 in their favor.
Hey, all righty.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's gonna be an interesting.
I think this will be the first team to kind of pop them in the mouth. That's what I think.
And I actually agree with you that they will. My question is Georgia State going to be able to keep up with Louisville a little bit? I know Louisville is only 2-0. This is going to be their third game of the season, so they're still very fresh and very new. See, you're right. Louisville, Jack State, Austin Peay. Those are not the real. They're both really. They are both our FCS teams. Georgia Tech really got some points scored only on teams like Florida State and Georgia State. Georgia State, which are Georgia State and Florida State at this rate, they're both about the same in terms of talent. Yeah. Georgia Tech did lose to Syracuse when they came back against VMI. I don't really know how good Syracuse is.
They got Fran Brown. I'll say it over and over. They got Fran Brown now. He's the real deal.
He is. They are undefeated. Give me Georgia Tech to cover. Okay. I'm gonna say Georgia Tech covers, but Louisville wins the game.
Yeah. It's just a smart play. You get 10.5 points in your favor. I'll take it. At least in my opinion, that's smart. But then again, I haven't been too smart this whole season. All right. Unranked UCLA travels to Baton Rouge to face number 16 LSU. LSU is a 22.5-point favorite here. And I was like, I don't know. I went back and I was looking at UCLA, what they've done up to this point. Torres, they are 1-1. Their first game, they only beat Hawaii, who, Hawaii is Hawaii. They only beat them 16-13. And then they got destroyed by Indiana 42-13. This is LSU, what time is this game? Does it say? It is at 3:40, so a weird time here. I know they struggled against Nichols to begin. And I hate to keep going back to the well because I feel like LSU is the drug I can't stop taking, I can't stop going back to. But I don't know, 22.5 is kind of scary. But I feel like they're going to be able to run up the score on them. I really do. I feel like they're going to do it. They found a running back, man. Their running backs actually started running the ball pretty good. They got the receivers. They got Nussmeier. Can the defense do anything? I don't know. Something's telling me LSU. I'm going LSU here. Give me LSU minus the 22.5.
Yeah, that Caden Durham running back for LSU. That man showed out against South
I
Carolina.
know Kobe's gonna give me crap. Kobe always comes after me about it.
That's the thing. I mean, they barely beat Nichols by 22 and a half. I mean, by just 22 points straight up. So it's like that's a hard one. That's a really hard one. Uh I'm gonna go LSU obviously gonna win the game. Heck, I got LSU winning their next two games. Um Give me LSU. I'm gonna take them to cover. I'm gonna take them to
You
cover.
gonna take them to do it too? Okay.
I'm gonna take them to cover. That's tight, man. That's after
Yeah,
seeing
it's a lot of points. It's a lot of points.
after seeing
So
LSU last week, man. I mean, I'm sorry, UCLA against Indiana like that at home, struggling with Hawaii. I don't know. Yeah, give me LSU. It's hard. It's hard.
yeah. All right. So number 13, Kansas State. They are favored by 7 points. They're traveling to BYU. Torres, what you got here?
Man, I'm not gonna doubt Kansas State again. Give me Kansas State in this one. They really surprised me. Obviously last week against Arizona State. It was Arizona. It was just Arizona.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
so
Arizona.
give me Kansas State in this
All right, Kansas State for me as well. All right. Number 8, Miami. Favored by 17 and a half. Traveling to South Florida. I know they gave Bama some fits, but what do you think here?
one. Give me Miami and cover the spread. Cam Ward is making his case and trying to be potential for Heisman. Not saying
Mm-hmm.
he's doing it. He is, but he's making a great case. And give me Miami, man. I think they run the sport. I think we got the leading ACC team coming out this year until proven otherwise.
Yeah, I can't help but agree with you. They're going to run this score up. They're going to get him his stats. They're going to push him for Heisman. They're going to do things the right way offensively. Torres, we're not used to that, but they're gonna do things the right way. All right, number 12, Utah. Traveling to Oklahoma State. Number 14, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State is a 2.5 point favorite here. What you got for me?
So with this is the reason why I have this. I don't know about this because didn't the Utah quarterback just get hurt?
He didn't start this last game. He
He got
didn't. I
hurt.
noticed
He's
that.
out.
Yeah, I guess so.
So what's the name? Rising? Was it Rising?
Rising. Yeah, he can't stay healthy to save his
Okay, so
life.
that's what I saw. So they're thinking about putting Rising on red shirt because he's going to come back next year. I saw something about that.
Mm.
So with Utah not having him being able there to play, give me Oklahoma State. Um, um, I just Oklahoma State. You know they're on a little bit of a roll right now. They're at home. Really need this game. Hey, Oklahoma State got Kansas State on the road next week. What I'm thinking, Kansas State's a solid team now. Uh, give me Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma beats them.
Yeah, I'll do the same thing here. I just don't believe in that Utah offense necessarily without it. They're playing at home. They're rolling. I'll take them. All right, number 11 USC. They are favored by 5.5, traveling to number 18 Michigan. Michigan this past week. I don't know if you saw it. They ended up benching the walk on quarterback. They put Orgy in. I didn't really get to catch any of the stats per se with that game. I'm gonna go back now and take a look at that. You have a little smile on your face though when I started this one up. So what's making you feel that way over there?
Well, I'm a little disappointed in Michigan. Michigan can't score to save their life, and
No.
even at home, at what we saw against Texas. Now, what I am going to say about Michigan, Michigan defense have come to play. Michigan was even able to
Yeah.
negate Texas a few times, even in their game. Right? Texas beat them 31-12, but now Texas did get all their points in the first half. But the second half, things started to change a little bit. Now, you can say Texas pulled off the gas pedal, or you can say Michigan defense hunkered down and did a little bit better. I do think Michigan got an okay defense. We're going to obviously see more throughout the season. But give me USC, man. USC beat LSU. They're a team that is starting to become reckoned with. This is only their third game of the season. Give me USC, man. USC about to go on a little run, and we're going to see what they're really made of. I think USC makes some noise this year too.
Yeah, I made the mistake of taking Michigan with the points against Texas, and I'm not going to go back to that. I'm going to go USC covers the 5.5. I think Lincoln Riley's figured some stuff out over there. Jackson was right. I was wrong. Even though they're playing this game at Michigan, Michigan still just doesn't have any answers offensively. You're correct. Alex Orji, he don't know what to do. They've already benched the other guy. So I don't know. There's nothing left to believe in really. So give me USC. I think they're gonna find a way to beat that defense, and then I just don't think Michigan's gonna have anything to say offensively. So maybe they'll surprise us. All right, big game of the week. At least in my opinion, it is number 6 Tennessee is traveling to number 15 Oklahoma. They're a 7.5 point favorite here. Tennessee is. And Torres, I know you're up there. You're around these Tennessee fans all the time. So let's hear what you got to say on the matter.
Lord have mercy, man. The Tennessee fans, they are definitely aggravating. I get tired of them. I'm sick of hearing Rocky Top. But these boys they can score that football. These boys can score that football. They got the skill weapons. They got the skill position. They got the quarterback. Bro. They got the running back with Sampson. Bro. He already got 9 touchdowns on the season, bro. We're in we only been in 3 games. He already got 9 touchdowns. That's averaging 3 touchdowns a game at the running back position. Now, granted, we're looking at whoever they play. Well, at the time, they beat a ranked North Carolina State. They played UTC. I'm sorry, chap. We got ran through. And then they destroyed Kent State. I will say out of this, I thought NC State would be their true test, but Oklahoma is going to be their true test. All right, you're playing a top 15 ranked team who's ranked exactly number 15. But man, Oklahoma, you just came into the SEC and you're not starting off with a good start. I know they beat Temple, but you struggle with Houston and you struggled a little bit with Tulane. If you think being at home, and you've been at home all of these games,
yeah,
Tennessee's coming into shock. They went into shop for North Carolina State. They about to drop some points. I would be surprised Tennessee beat these boys by 14 or 17.
Yeah. This is an easy bet. I'll easily take Tennessee here. If this turns to a boat race, I just don't see how Oklahoma keeps up. But I know that at least one team will be able to consistently put up points. And not only that, but Tennessee actually has a defense to back them up some. Like they can get stops when they need to, and I just don't have anything to. I mean, they're okay offensively. Okay, Oklahoma is. I just nothing really exciting on that side of the ball. So yeah, give me Tennessee to cover that. That's an easy bet in my opinion. So we agreed a pretty good bit on this week's picks. But yeah, man, anything else you want to cover here before we break it down?
I'm going to go quickly on Colorado and Baylor. I like that game. That's a really good game. I think that's a little bit of a test game. Baylor coming into Colorado. That's a big game before they get ready next week and go play UCF. So I think Colorado go in and get the job done. Obviously Colorado just got the name with it. So it's
what's the spread on that one?
1 point.
Oh my God! Wow.
Oklahoma. I'm looking at it on ESPN. It is a pick'em. Straight up. Yep. Even the ESPN matchmaking prediction got Colorado winning by like 55%, 55.8%. So it is about neck and neck in the term. Who you think can win this game?
Yeah, I'll take Colorado on that one. Yeah.
Travis Hunter looked good, man.
Yeah, he did. For real. Well, thank you guys out there for listening in. We appreciate you as always tuning in. Thank you guys out there to if you tuned into the live stream or podcast, we appreciate it. If you want to support the show, just give us some follows on our social media channels. Also, you can go to the description of this podcast and any podcast platform available, Spotify, Apple Podcast, anywhere out there, and click the link. And there's many different ways you can help support the show. But yeah, we appreciate it. It's another good show in the books, and as always, we'll see you next time.
Boom, boom.